We're in Sweden, it's May Day, and we're on our way to a small place called Shopping, where a far-right political party, the SVP, have gathered for a 300-man march through the streets. Now, they say they're demonstrating against the European Union. There's far leftists who are going to be there, who are also known for being quite extreme. There's violence on both sides. There's apparently going to be 400 police there, and it sounds like things are going to get quite serious.
In Europe, the rise of the far right has become impossible to ignore, with a massive increase in nationalist popularity over the last few years. In Sweden, though, the emergence of a left-wing extremist group has seen anti-fascists waging war against the far right. Known as the Revolutionary Front, the faction of militant socialists has now become one of the most violent groups in Sweden. One of their affiliates was recently jailed for attempted murder after he stabbed a far-right supporter twice in the back. The Revolutionary Front formed in 2002, but their structure still remains shrouded in secrecy. Nobody knows exactly how many members they have. Estimates range from the hundreds to the thousands, and they're believed to operate in at least 5 different districts in Sweden. So with demonstrations across Sweden on the increase, we went to see if we could find the Revolutionary Front at the May Day rally.
We're at the front of the protest right now. Everybody's lying down because they don't want the far right to move through here. And it seems like the police are just pushing forward now. And we'll see what happens, whether they let them lie there or whether they start moving them with force. But the far right are literally just on the other side of this police barrier.
We made our way to the front of the march to speak with the leader of the far-right nationalist party, the SVP.
What is the protest for today? Why have you marched?
The protest today is about us showing that we want to leave the European Union.
All these people seem extremely angry that you're here. Why do you think that is?
The far-right have become increasingly angry with immigration in Sweden, as nearly 50% of all asylum applicants were approved last year. As well as wanting out of the EU, SVP also runs a whites-only eugenics project and even wrote an open letter of support to Greece's neo-Nazi party, Golden Dawn. The Revolutionary Front say they're at war with the extreme far right, clashing with the political SVP and also with the militant Swedish resistance movement, whose leader is a convicted murderer. The Revolutionary Front have never given a formal interview to the media and are notoriously hard to track down.
You've decided to protect your identity.
Because I've received threats in numerous accounts from these specific Nazis.
Why?
I take an active stance against racism and against Nazism, and that's enough for them to threaten my life.
Are you affiliated with any specific far-left group?
I'm not, no. I don't represent any organization, I speak for myself.
Yeah. And I think people have this idea that it's the far-right versus the far-left.
It's a very broad kind of resistance against them. Mm-hmm. It's not just specific anti-fascist groups. With their policies, it's violence against us. Mm-hmm. It's violence against all of my friends who might be homosexual or just a different skin color.
Whoa. The far-right march has been allowed to move on, but the far-left don't seem happy about it. There was a stun grenade thrown just 2 minutes ago. There's a lot of confusion, and the far-right seem to be trying to tell the police what to do. Judging by people in masks, sunglasses, and the fact there's a lot of flashbangs going off, I think it's safe to say the Red Front are probably in attendance. Members of the far left started attacking members of the far right. Whoa! Police are really getting pissed off now. Seems that they're using the dogs more of a deterrent to disperse people away from the march. As it goes down here, they set the dogs on people here to move them out of the way, and then the far right march can pass freely.
Despite the aggression, the police managed to stop any major violence breaking out at the march. But there's been an escalation in targeted attacks between the two sides. This footage of the Revolutionary Front smashing the home of a suspected fascist is one of the many attacks they film and publish on the internet. We met with a guy whose house is being trashed in this video. He asked us to withhold his name and identity for fear of further attacks, even though he denies being a member of any extreme right-wing groups.
I woke up one night to them smashing my front door in with an axe. And they also smashed my car the same night.
Yeah.
And tagged my door with RF. Basically they opened those gates,
Yeah.
went in, smashed the windows and threw in the smoke grenade. And this is the same way they came when they smashed my place up.
We went to the court case where alleged members of the Revolutionary Front were on trial for ransacking the victim's home to see if we could get any closer to meeting them.
You're the accused. What are they trying to convict you with here?
Alltså, försök till mordbrand.
They seem to keep mentioning Revolutionary Front. Why is that?
Alltså det här är ju en rättegång med ett större sammanhang om man säger så. Ja, jag vet inte. Jag har varit dömd för brott mot fascister förut.
And those guys in there seem to think you're part of SMR, is that correct?
They know that I'm nationalist.
They seem to think that nationalist means neo-Nazi, racist.
I don't call me racist.
Would you prefer Sweden if there was only one race?
Yes,
So what would you do with people that aren't, I don't know, white?
I want to send them home.
These are exactly the kind of views the Revolutionary Front are fighting against.
So after months of negotiation, the Rev Front have agreed to meet us, which is actually quite rare considering they're a far-left organisation. So we're going to go and meet them now. They said they're going to pick us up in a car, drive us to an unknown location, and hopefully the interview will take place there. A member of the Rev Front has picked us up now. We don't exactly know where we're going. It all feels quite secretive, but hopefully it's to meet other members of Rev Front. To gauge the level of security that these guys hold up, they've asked us to leave our phones in the car. We've been told to go up this slightly spooky tunnel. We've got one guy down there who was our driver, essentially keeping guard, and we're told that there are Rev Front members at the top of this hill. So we're just going to go and meet them now. Seems like the prime location for a kidnap, to be honest. Nice to meet you guys. Thanks for taking the time to meet us. Are we doing it in English, or you guys rather do it in Swedish?
Prefer Swedish.
Considering you two are members of Rev Front, if you could explain to us exactly what it is Rev Front stands for.
Fortfarande arbetarklassens intressen som alltid måste vara i första hand. Och därför så samarbetar vi mot ett gemensamt mål, att det är ett socialistiskt samhälle.
There are a lot of far-left groups who are pacifists and they condemn violence. Why did you guys specifically decide to take up arms against the fascists?
It's not good to use violence, but it's a tool, and when it comes to the anti-fascist war against the Nazi movement, we can't afford to think about the public opinion.
Vi ska inte knata 2000 nazister genom min stad. Det funkar inte så. Being a Nazi in Sweden today, it means a world full of hurt.
When you guys are fighting and stuff, what kind of weapons would you bring with you?
For self-defense, I only use this tear gas, my homemade knuckles.
Homemade?
Yes, and if there are too many, I switch to the knife, very sharp.
Could I see? Is that okay?
Are you sure you want the fingerprints on this?
Wow. I've read that some media reports will say you guys are essentially terrorists or you're extremists. What do you think to that?
The working class build this society. Every house you see, every road you see, the working class have built, and still we got nothing to say about how this society is gonna progress. So if the same society that pieces me on an everyday basis call me a terrorist, then I'm feeling kind of proud, actually.